everyone, it's Tracy from Downward Dog Rising. I'm just getting ready to go to work and I thought I'd give you a quick chair workout. I have a split pedal combo chair. You could use the same type of chair in Pilates, or you could use a Wunda chair if you have one. So join me. I have 2 springs on number 4, the top. That's a heavy spring. When you go to the lower cactus levels, that means light. When you go to the upper cactus levels, that means heavy. So high springs are heavy, low springs are light. Place your heels on your foot pedal, and then I don't want you to be way at the back of the chair because that'll force you to rock your pelvis back and forth, and we don't want to rock our pelvis. So slide forward. You can start with just holding your hands on the front edges of the chair. Maybe do a couple shoulder rolls. Roll shoulders up, down, back, away from ears several times. Release shoulders. And then with your hands just sitting here at the sides of your hips, take an inhalation as you elongate your spine. Now exhale and only move legs. You're making sure you don't rock your pelvis, your hips back or forth. My hip bones face directly ahead. If you need more support, exhale down. If you want more of a challenge, inhale down, exhale, scoop abdominal wall tight. And 6, 5, you might feel quads working. 4, and 3, 2 more. Pelvis is stabilized. Last one. Now go to the toes, meaning balls of feet, the area that's directly under the toes. Those are the metatarsals. Knees over second toes. Sit tall. Inhale. Maybe you want to challenge yourself. Keep pelvis stabilized. Exhale. Inhale. So hips are stable. Tight abdominals all the way into your back. Your core should be working the entire time you're doing your Pilates workout. And 6, 5, you go as low as you can without dipping the hips forward. 4, and 3, and 2, exhale, last one. Now draw heels together into your Pilates V. So you have your V stance. Collarbones are wide, and then I'm going to have you just bring your hands to your heart, squeeze those heels together, feel how your inner thighs wrap into your outer hips. Deep inhale, and again I want you to feel the corset strings around the sides of your waist pulling around to the center. Exhale, inhale. I'm going to switch the breath. Exhale, down. Make sure your socks don't slip off pedal. You could go barefoot if you like. 6, 5, 4, 3 more, 2 more. Pelvis is totally still. Last one. Excellent. Now take heels. Let's do wide stance. We're going to do wide stance, hands to heart, knees over second toes. Again, avoid, this is rocking the pelvis, the hips. We don't want that. Keep pelvis stabilized. Press, resist, press, resist. Maybe take hands behind your head for this set. Press, resist, press, resist. So really draw the core tight. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. Last one. Awesome. And then you just let the pedal come up. And then when you're lying on the reformer, you get to do running, where you stretch your Achilles tendons. We don't have the same setup here. If you had a split pedal chair and it's on the same level of spring, both springs, so the pedal doesn't crash down when you take out your dowel, you could take out your dowel and then do balls of feet, slide forward again. And then the goal is not to be all over the place like this. Can you keep your hips relatively secure, facing forward as you do this kind of motion? So tighten the core to your back. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, tighten the core to spine. Inhale, pelvis is stable. Exhale, go back up. I'm gonna reach, grab my dowel. All right. Now this next thing that I'm gonna ask you to do, we're gonna go down to a lighter spring. Take one spring off. So I actually have, okay, it's on 3. You could be 3 from the bottom or 4. So at the top, I should say, to make it heavier. And then when you stand, your hips face forward. You're going to be on the ball of your foot. So then you're right in front of your pedal. You have a little space between your toes and the wood frame. And then you're just going to balance. And then press down, lift up, tighten core, reach through top of head. Exhale. Exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3. Keep balance. 2. Last one. Switch. So you just switch legs. Foot is on the mat. Little space between toes and the wood frame. Tailbone's long, so you're not leaning into your hip. This side's working isometrically. Heel lifts up, balance, inhale and exhale. Reach through top of head. 4, 3, 2, last one. Excellent. Now we're going to change to the side. Go stand. Here's your V stance. So you go into a V. V stance. Yeah, I can move myself away a little bit further away. There we go. So then in your V stance, you would just stand like this. You turn out, the thigh bones twist and turn out. And that way the pelvis, your hip bones stay facing forward. So then from your turnout position, you drop the tailbone down. That way you're not standing there and overly arching your back. You take your foot onto the pad. You could even lift your heel. Really engage core, zip up. Feel lateral hip and glute, twisting and turning, rotating from inner thigh to outer hip. Maybe take hands to heart. Now balance, zip straight up under the front of those ribs. Pelvic floor zips up. Your ribs wrap to the center. Inhale, exhale. So you just reach, control, feel that inner thigh, spiral out. 6, 5, you're scooping your core deeply to your spine. 4, 3, 2, stabilize, and last one. Now just turn around, repeat. Go into your V stance, inner thighs twist, wrap out, so you're not overly arching your back. You're in your neutral spine. Your core scoops in. You're gonna lift up your foot, turned out position. Lift up your heel to go a little deeper into this inner thigh, hands to heart. Inhale, keep spiraling inner thighs out. Hips face straight ahead. Inhale, exhale, resist that pedal, lifting back up. Keep wrapping those hips. 7, 6, scoop in tight, and 5, 4, 3, 2 more, and last one. And gently let pedal come up. Excellent. All right, next, what I want you to do, we're gonna go a little heavier spring, and we're just gonna add the second spring on. I'm gonna go up the 4th one because my springs are a little light. I'm gonna give myself some support. And then, you know what? I have no idea. My head will probably hit the fan. I'm still trying to figure out my space here, how to put things. Okay. I'm gonna have you do a front lunge up. We need to have 50% of our weight in our front leg, 50% of our weight in our back leg. And what I think I'm gonna do is turn the chair so you get a side view. Let me just turn this around to get a little side view. Yeah, that will be better, I think. Just move this back. Just moving things as I go. Okay. All right. Let me just slide this a little bit. Okay. So, you stand in front of the chair. I'll try to bring my head between the fan blades. I'll see what happens. You press down on the pedal. And then you can either approach it from the top or the bottom. I'm going to do it from the bottom. I'm not sure where my head's going to end up, so walk your toes. We don't want the toes here. I like to go a little further out to give the knee a little extra support so it doesn't feel like you're doing your knee shooting forward and lying over the toes. I want you to squeeze your glutes, lift from the front of this quad, really go deep into the glutes, 50-50 weight, and I'm not quite sure. There we go, in between there. So you want to think up the whole time, lift and lengthen up, inhale, and then exhale. I'm going to use my handles today just because I have things around me and I really can't focus, totally unbalanced because I'm focusing on not hitting my head. 5, 4, so we don't have to let the pedal ever hit the ground. 3, 2 more, and last one. You're going to take it down to the bottom, take your other foot, lift it up. Now sometimes if your pelvis isn't straight or aligned, I did a video last night about alignment for the hips and stabilizing and mobilizing your spine. Here we're stabilizing our pelvis and then we're using our core for control. Our hips face forward, but we want to make sure we have correct alignment because if your hips aren't aligned, then this left gluteal isn't going to turn on. If your hips aren't aligned, different muscles will kick in and then you'll end up totally in the front of this thigh working. So try to balance it out. Lift your back heel up so you feel the ball of your foot. And then you're just going to go exhale, lift, squeeze that back glute. Make sure it's 50-50 here and here. Exhale, lift. Exhale, lift. Scoop in tight. And 6, elevate. 5, reach through top of head. 4 and 3, squeeze that back glute. Scoop in. 2 more. Exhale. Last one. Exhale. And come all the way down. Awesome. All right. So we just allow the pedal to come up slowly, easily, so it doesn't throw you backwards. Now this next thing, if you have handles, let's take them off. To take them off, you just do a little couple lefty rotations. You don't have to undo it more than that, it just unlocks it. Likewise, if you're at the studio, you never just leave the handles unlocked. Like here it's locked, I twist it, I undo it. Whenever you're in a studio, you want to make sure you righty-tighty so that those handles are in there in case someone like really needed to use them doing a lunge, like when I was lunging just there. So next, get rid of one spring. You could hold your chair pedal while you're undoing the spring to make it a little easier. You set the spring all the way down either to the wood or to the handle of the cactus that it sits on, either or. And I'm just going to move this back a little. Okay. Then I'm just going to have you sit. Forgot what I was doing. Bend this knee. And again, your hips are squared. Avoid doing this. Avoid elevating the whole half of your pelvis off the chair. That would defeat the purpose. So either This leg is just hanging off the front. If it bothers your knee to bend it, just bend it here. If this hurts, go down to here. Take hands behind your head and your neck, and then press top of head to sky. Now do a quick little setup. Can you keep each half of your pelvis grounded on your chair? Ribs expand, ribs come back. Chest is open. 2 more. Inhale, tighten core to back. Exhale, 1 more. You're gonna inhale, exhale. Now take it over. Keep lengthening, lengthening, lengthening. Now your palm comes onto the pedal. Now you're gonna open deeper without elevating your sits bone, your hip off the chair. So the pelvis is still rooted, still grounded. Stretch, stretch, stretch. This is just such a great stretch. Chest is open. When you inhale down, you separate those ribs, those intercostals. You exhale, lift up. You get those muscles between the ribs to expand. Create length in your spine. If your back, low back feels iffy, go less far down and maybe exhale down to support the low back more. So we use the breath for different purposes. You can't say there's a right or a wrong breath. What are you looking for? That's the question. Stabilizing low back, you're exhaling down. Deepening, increasing your stretch, you're gonna inhale down. Really open up wide through those ribs. Exhale up. And last one. Come all the way up. And go ahead, switch around. Again, make sure this hip doesn't go with you. It stays down on your chair. Extend this other leg straight down, or take this knee, bend it. Bring your hands behind your head. Elongate head away from tailbone. And then you're gonna go straight out. Make sure right hip doesn't lift off your chair. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. 2 more. Breathing in, lengthen through top of head. Last one. And inhale, exhale. Take it up, up, up. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Now take hand palm on pedal. Avoid using fingers. You want to get to the point where you open up enough where you're pressing into your palm to protect your wrist and connect into the serratus anterior muscle, connecting into the shoulder girdle in your back. Again, if you need more support, exhale to go down. Inhale to come up. Exhale down, support your low back. Pelvis is stable on the chair. If you want to go deeper, inhale, expand into your ribs. Exhale, come back up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. Keep lengthening your entire spine. Scoop your core tight to back. And last 2. Breathing in, breathing in. Exhale, come up. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, come back up. Awesome. All right. Now I want to open up your shoulders and chest, and because modern day life is about forward, everything sitting on the computer, it can make our shoulders round and it can make us hunch forward. So we don't want to keep doing things to exacerbate rounding our shoulders or hunching us forward. So I'm going to give you a modification. Chances are you don't have a moon box sitting around your place. If you have a chair, it's wonderful, that's great. And they're probably more likely to have a yoga block sitting around. So I'm going to move the camera to the floor so you can see what's happening down below. And then I'll show you. In place of the moon box, this is the moon box. There's wood inside, and it's upholstered. It's probably vinyl. And then you sit on this, and I'm doing this to modify, because chances are if you sit at the computer all day, it'll be quite uncomfortable to sit directly down on the floor the first time you do this. And it's probably not your first time. If you have a chair accessible to you, that means you've been doing Pilates already. Whenever you stick a block, let's go down to the floor. Okay. Whenever you come down and sit in front of the chair, you have to make sure the pedal doesn't hit directly what you're pushing in front of the chair. We're going to use the same spring. I have it on 4. I'm going to go down by 1 to 3. Again, when you go down, it makes it lighter. The lower you go, the lighter it gets. The new chairs, this chair has white springs that are lighter, and it has black springs that are heavier springs. And lately I've noticed on the newer chairs, there's only one spring. It doesn't have light or dark springs. It's just all one spring, and I guess it's all, maybe it's all the same load. It's all heavy maybe, because there's not double springs on the new chairs. There's just one spring. And probably instead of 2, 4, 6, you have 3 springs. That's what I'm trying to say. So let me just try to get in your view. Okay. Notice how I just propped right up onto the pedal, onto the moon box. Use a yoga block if you don't have a moon box. I'm trying to get you to see. So I propped up a little bit, and you could either have your legs straightened directly in front, or you could have your knees bent in front, whatever feels right for your hips, your pelvis. The chair pedals behind, so what you do, you open shoulders, chest. You're going to rotate shoulders down and back, fingers are forward, and then you just place your hands on the pedal, and then you inhale 3-dimensionally. The air goes down into the lower lobes of the lungs, ribs expand, chest opens up, and then you exhale, press down. Inhale, 3-dimensional breathing, exhale, press down. I'm going to make mine a little heavier. Keep going, head away from tailbone. Inhale, ribs expand, exhale, press down. And 6, inhale, openness, exhale, press down. Getting the air out of the lungs. 5, sit tall. 4, chest really opens, ribs expand laterally. 3, inhale, chest is open, really stretch your shoulders and chest. 2, 1 more. Inhale, exhale, wonderful. Now, open the hands wider. We're going to do another set. External rotation of your arm bone going deeper into your shoulder socket. Fingertips reach sideways. Avoid pinching your shoulder blades together. When your arm bones rotate externally into the shoulder joint, keep some space middle back between your 2 shoulder blades. Lift your heart, sit tall. Feel lateral ribs expand. Lift heart, integrate front of ribs down and together. And exhale, 8. Keep reaching through top of head. 7, make sure you're not pinching your shoulder blades together. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 more, and last one. Excellent. Gently release. We're going to do one more set to really open our chest and shoulders. First was this way, second was external rotation. Third, if this bothers your shoulder or your elbow joint or your wrist, stop here and just take a second and stretch like this. Stretch your forearms and your wrists for a moment. So last one, rotate back, more advanced, chest open, collarbones wide. Lift your heart, keep integrating the front of your ribs together. You inhale, exhale. Notice how my chair is silent because I'm in control. I'm not clanging my springs around. Notice if your studio has springs clanging around a lot, so you don't want that actually. 5, 4, chest is open. 3, 2 more. Last one, control. and gently let your pedal come back up. Awesome. All right, we're just gonna do one more exercise. We're gonna come into a little extension. I'm gonna put my moon box to the side. And we're gonna bring the pedal down a little. I'll go down one. If you have a relatively new chair, your pedal's gonna feel a lot heavier than mine. I need mine replaced pretty soon. So you're gonna feel like your chair is stronger. So maybe go down to number 2 from the bottom, so it's lighter. And I'm gonna do a slight angle. I'm gonna do a little bit of an angle. Let me see which way I wanna go. These chairs are pretty heavy. That's why it's nice to have the wheels. This has wheels. That's when you use the handles and you wheel it around. Okay. No worries. I just pick up the camera and keep going. That's how I do things here. No worries. I just knock the mat over. Okay, let's see if I'm still in your view. Yep. Okay. I'm just gonna go this way. Okay. And I'm gonna grab my yoga mat. I'm just gonna grab my yoga mat real quick. Okay, now you lie on your stomach, your abdominals, and I'm not gonna have room. Let me go on a diagonal this way. Yeah, I have my Pilates equipment all over my house. It doesn't fit in here. So I make the most of it. All right, I'm grateful for my house. Grateful to have a house again. When I just had a room. Whew. Okay, let's do extension. All right, so you're just gonna, I have to put my feet under the sofa. So I'm gonna slide under the sofa. The tops of your feet are on the ground. Avoid doing this where you arch and your hip bones totally lift off the mat. You don't want that. Your tailbone lengthens behind you. And then what you do, palms are down on your pedal. And then what you do, think of a shoulder shrug where you intentionally, you shrug your shoulders into your ears. We're not going to work from that point, but you need to know where they're at. Pull your shoulders down away from the ears. It's subtle. Pull the shoulders down away from the ears. Mini prep. 5, pull them down. 4, mini prep. Neck is long. 3, inhale, exhale. 2 more. Inhale, exhale. Last one. Now, after you pull your shoulders down and back, you integrate into the shoulder blades in your back. I gotta move the dowel out of the way so I can lift up. Then what you do, you're anchoring, shoulder blades down, shoulders down. Now you're gonna elevate your heart. And then depending on your flexibility and your strength, usually I have it a little lighter spring and I keep my arms straight. This spring is making me bend my elbows. Inhale, I'm not gonna get up though. Exhale, float up. Notice how my shoulders are down out of my ears. If you only wanna do thoracic extension, this is it, right here. You lift your heart, lengthen, come back. Exhale, scoop belly in tight, and then you come back in, exhale. The higher you go, the longer down the spine you go to your low back. The higher you lift, you go into the lumbar. So if you need to have lumbar stability, you're not going to do a high swan. 4 and 3. Rise up through top of head, ribs integrate together and front, shoulders stay down. 2. Inhale, exhale. Thoracic spine extension is just at the top here. Your pelvis is stabilized. Gently let the pedal come back up. Then you would take your hands, roll shoulders away from ears. Now slowly, this isn't going to be graceful since my feet are under the sofa. There we go. You would just press up to hands and knees and then go into a rest pose, balasana. So then we just stretch the arms back since they were overhead. Let's go ahead and go this way. If you have your yoga block handy, maybe you'll stick your forehead on your yoga block. And let's just release our spine from the extension work. Inhale. And then exhale. Breathing in. If this was too much on your knees, you could put a pillow under your knees for support. And inhale. And exhale. Let this part of the spine release. Inhale, shoulders down and back. Exhale. 2 more times. Breathing in. Breathing out. 1 more time. Breathing in. Breathing out. Gently take hands under shoulders. Lengthen head away from tailbone. Rising up slowly. And then we're just going to sit in our easy pose, Sukhasana. So, and there you have it. You did a complete chair workout. We hit everything. I thank you for joining me. Please hit like, share, subscribe if you enjoy my content. And I will keep posting more Pilates, more yoga, and hopefully some kickboxing soon. Inhale. And exhale. Hands to heart. Just feeling grateful for taking some time for self-care to strengthen our mind, our body, and our spirit. Thanks, everyone. Peace. I'll see you again soon. Bye. So I'll bring a yoga or Pilates mat or kickboxing soon since you don't need equipment for that. Just you and your mat. Peace. Bye. Thanks for joining.